Good morning, guys. I'm looking a mad hot mess today. Haven't done my hair yet. I think it's not too bad. I like brushed it, but it's all like angry Barbie style from sleeping on it. Today is our HOA meeting day. I'll tell you guys about that in a little bit. But for now, I am like just got dressed and stuff. I have people like stopping by our house from our neighborhood that keep dropping off forms for the meeting because they're not going. So I was like, I better put some kind of clothes on, although it's like house clothes I would never wear out, but I really don't care. So today is just like a boring day. I'm doing some more laundry, trying to stay on top of the laundry, and my regular house like chores where I like clean the toilets, wipe down everything in the bathroom and the kitchen, sweep things. That's like the daily for me. And Ralph's trying to eat my oatmeal. Yeah, so nice. Happy Thursday. Okay, guys, so I'm going to sit here and talk and tell you a story. I haven't been able to vlog much because I've had a really annoying day, but it's no big deal. So basically tonight we're really dreading it. When you have an HOA, I know not everyone does. Now Justin's calling me. Anyway, so I had to talk to Justin about something really quick. One of our neighbors came over, I had to tell him about it. It was funny. So basically, like when you have a neighborhood like ours do, ours took a long time to finish building. When you have like new homes still going up. And when you have an HOA in that situation, the builders are in control of your HOA. About a year ago, they let Justin be on the HOA just because all of us were getting really mad because there's things happening in our neighborhood, like our HOA fees keep going up because people aren't paying their HOA fees. And when that happens, your house can become foreclosed on, or they can legally force you to pay it. But the builders were like, don't do it to our management company because we don't want any foreclosures in our neighborhood, like while we're still trying to build houses. It looks bad. In the meantime, we ended up suffering the brunt of it as more people are coming in the neighborhood. We should be having less HOA fees, but they're going up because the builders aren't forcing the people to pay that aren't paying. So we're like taking the brunt end of it, like paying for other people to keep living here. People are just getting like in an uproar. So they let one person from the neighborhood be on the board, and it's Justin. So basically, but the builders still outrule him. There's 2-1, and the management company does whatever the builders say, which we're probably going to fire our management company as soon as we take over fully. But like right now, they wouldn't tell him about things. They wouldn't send him stuff. They just do whatever the builder said. It was like they just put him on there to have a scapegoat almost, because then people are like, well, what's going on? We have a member on the HOA. Why isn't anything happening? And then people just like have been harassing us all week. And it's like, we've been trying for a year to force them to do these things. But when there's no control at all, we can't make them do anything. We can't fire the management company for not sending us the correct paperwork. It's just been stuff we've been dealing with for a year. Now that it's coming close, we're having our meeting tonight to vote the HOA in. We're kicking the builders out basically because we're done. And so there's all these people that didn't want to take that position when it was up before. They never, like, we've had meetings with our neighbors and tried to have community events. We've done a lot for the neighborhood because we want it to be like a community. We had like a lot of meetings. I had the Houston Police Department come out to a meeting. I asked everybody what their schedules were. We all voted on a date and a time, and then nobody showed up, even though everyone surrounded it around their schedule. So I had the police department out here to talk about safety, what they can do for their homes, and like, I think maybe 10 people showed up, and I was just like, oh, so over this. But yeah, now all of a sudden that there's going to be a board that has control, all these people that want to be on it because they think somehow they'll have power to control things that they don't like right now. Like right now, all our houses have to look the same. If you want to change a paint color, if you want to like you can keep your flower beds the way they are, or like change out bushes for bushes or like flowers, but you can't like extend your flower bed or do anything that changes the look of the house or the front yard too much, or even the backyard, without permission from the architectural board. Well, people are just doing it anyway, which they're not supposed to, and some houses are starting to look really janky and it just looks really trashy, some of the stuff people are doing. And it's like so frustrating, because my thing is like, if you want to do whatever you want to your house, then don't move into a neighborhood with a strict HOA like bylaws, because that's why we bought here. We like things that kind of look the same and clean cut and nice. But the management company has the power to be like, take that down, take them to court if they won't, but they won't do it because the builders. It's all been because the builders. Well, now that that's all going to change, all of a sudden these people are like, well, I've done this for the neighborhood and I want to be on the board because I do this, this, and this. There's this lady that just moved in who's like, I served on an HOA before and I'll make changes. And she tried to, like, today she posted this big thing where she tried to like throw Justin under the bus, and I went like, it took everything I had, like, because like I will go crazy when people do that kind of shit to Justin, because he's such a good man. Like, he does so much for people, and but Justin's like, let me handle it, and he handled it so politely, because I would have been like, bitch, if she starts stuff tonight, I might have to walk out, because otherwise I might hit this lady. But what she did is she just moved this neighborhood. She has no idea about the situation that he has had no control. Like, it's not anything he can do about these situations. Like, she just thinks he just hasn't done anything, even though we've told her several times. And so she kind of posts that out there. I feel like if you have a neighborhood, you should not have a Facebook group, because drama like this happens. But she posted that out there kind of like for all the other new residents who don't know that either, when we've already told her and people have already told her. Having somebody on the HOA right now means nothing, because they can't do anything. Anyway, so the vote tonight will decide who the new HOA board, and of course this lady's running, but she's like, I was on an HOA board before and I did this and me that and blah, blah. But it's like, if you were, then like, she's doing all this stuff that there are certain things where like, she's requesting stuff in the social media that Justin cannot give her or answer her, because it's like kind of like HOA confidentiality. He can only talk about HOA stuff like that in a meeting when it's brought up, I believe. Something like that. So it's just like all these things that she doesn't really know that makes us think she's totally lying about being on HOA, that too. And then she put a fence in her yard, which you cannot do. Like, it is so, like, you don't even, like, like you can't do that. That's so against the rules. So it's like, if you know so much about that, if you read the bylaws before you moved here, just, yeah, I'm just like, oh. So this is why we've been dreading tonight. And today it's just getting amplified, because she did that shit where she tried to throw Justin under the bus. She's been emailing me constantly. Yesterday she kept tagging me and stuff. And what's annoying is like, it's stuff like she has all the paperwork for. She just closed on her house. She has all the paperwork. She needs to look it up. But instead she's like, hey, can you look this up for me? We're not your fucking personal assistant, lady. Like, please, you have all the information. Like, she wanted to know how much we paid our management company, and we sent her the thing. And again, even though she already has it, we're nice people, and we're like, it's all here. We're trying to work. And she was like, but how much do we pay them monthly? Because it's got the yearly amount we pay them. We're like, divide it by 12. I mean, come on now. Like, oh. Like a funny story about last meeting. Last meeting was a very specific meeting. I don't remember exactly what it was about, but it was our management company needing to have a meeting with us for a very specific reason. And basically what happened was she wanted to come to the meeting, and the management company said by the HOA guidelines, because she didn't live here yet, she is just going to build here at the time. They were like, well, you can come. If you're not a resident, you just cannot speak or be involved in the meeting. And we have to rent out like a school when we have these meetings. So we're on like a time schedule. So they opened the floor to questions, and the management lady didn't know that that was the one that she had told couldn't come, or like could come but couldn't speak. I don't know, the whole situation. This lady starts asking like 700 questions, none of them which to do, like none of them had to do with what we needed to talk about for our meeting, what our meeting was about, or important to the rest of us. And people were getting so peeved, and I ended up being like, she doesn't even live here, like to like our table. And my friend Sean, when I told him about that, he said, all I can imagine when you told me that story was that in that scene in Mean Girls where they're all in the gym like sharing their feelings, and the gay guy is like, she doesn't even go here. Like that is, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, or y'all are like vaguely remember that scene, I'm going to insert something right now. Okay, so sorry, I had another neighbor come over. Say hi. Say I'm being a crazy butt. Anyway, yeah. So whenever I told that story to him, I was like, "Oh my god, that is totally ow." Okay. Say hi, YouTube. I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're so right. That's totally how it was too." It was hilarious. I mean, I didn't like shout it out in the meeting because people were talking, and it was like right before it ended, but I didn't know it was about to end, but I had enough, and I was like, she doesn't even live here yet. Like the table, the people that were at the table with us were like busted out laughing. I was just like, I don't know. Oh Lord, help me tonight. Help me so much. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go to that, and then I'm making dinner right now, but we might go for like a nightcap at a bar afterwards. Because I've already had one hell of a day, and I'm sure Justin has too, with just the stress of the night. So we'll see how it goes. We're celebrating the new HOA re-elected board. Hey, you want to tell them the good news about that lady I was talking about earlier? If she's on it? You don't want to tell them? She's not. She's not on it. Oh, you're shaking your head no because she's not on it. I'm having another one of those margaritas. Just drinking that beer. And we got a celebratory brownie. I've got $5 for the week. For like the next 2 weeks. Okay, so short rundown. The lady that has been like really rude to us and just negative, bad energy and stuff, she didn't make the board. And like there was a tie and she wasn't even in the tie. And you know, I felt bad for her because, you know, no matter how old you are or like what you know, in anything where there's a voting, it's still gotta hurt your feelings just a little bit. Like it's gotta, I mean, I'm 31 years old, and honestly, like, who doesn't not want to, like, you know, like you feel a little rejected when stuff like that happens. So I felt bad for her. So I went to go up to her, and I was like, thank you so much. And she heel-toed it and walked out, ignored me. I have been so nice to her, even though she's been so rude to us and so crazy and like harassing us and stuff. And then I went to tell her, I'll tell you what I was going to tell her. Thank you so much for everything you've been doing the last couple weeks and trying to get done. Thank you so much for putting the effort to vote. I think you would have made a great board member. Like basically like in basketball or baseball. Good game, good game, good game, good game. Yeah, I went to good game. And I've never like been treated, and she's like older than me. She's got to be like 50, right? 40-ish. She's one of those people you can't really tell. She just looks like older than us. Like she's at the end of her 40s, maybe early 50s. But I went to be like a nice person because I know that sucks, and tell her thank you so much for what she's done. And she just freaking turned around and walked out and like left and went and got in the car and like locked herself in it while her husband was still in there talking to everyone. It's like she threw a temper tantrum. And Justin was like, I'm not surprised. I was like, I don't know, I just expect more from people, especially considering how nice I've been to her. When we first got there, I didn't tell them what they did to us at the meeting. It's actually karma. It's actually we get to the meeting, and when we first sit down, there's a guy that lives in our neighborhood. He's very loud. He's very flamboyant. He's just very loud and rude. And not the flamboyant and rude are tied. They're not at all. I'm just trying. He's like very over the top and dramatic and stuff. Well, he has become BFFs with this lady. So when they all came in the same car together and stuff, and when we got there, she kind of was like, "Hi, Heather." Like, it was just weird, and I turned around, I was like, "Hi." Like, you know, and I was nice to them, and we get there, we sit down, and like I told you earlier, Justin's been on HOA, but everyone knows he hasn't been able to do anything, right? Why are you laughing?
Hi, please don't laugh.
No, stop. Everyone knows that. So he sat down, and the HOAs consist of the builders who obviously are out because they've just finished the last house and they're turning the HOA over to us. And Justin, who is what he called a dummy seat, meaning they put someone on there who had no power because the builders overruled everything. They never even had a meeting with him. And everyone knows that. The guy sits down and he looks at us and he goes, "So who are we going to kick off the HOA first?" And I was like, because y'all know I have a short fuse. I was like, and Justin was just, I could tell he was like, and so we just ignored it. We took the high road. Okay, Justin gets up to go get in this line to sign in. And he starts talking about us, like to where I could hear. And he was like, I don't remember the first thing he said, but they were acting like little high schoolers, like meep, 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 like bullying, talking mess, thinking they were just the cool clique. And they, I don't remember what he said first. Do you remember what I said he said? Oh, he got his ballot before Justin. He came and he sat down. The first 3 rows were other people, and Justin was on the second row. And he goes, "Well," and he looks at me, he goes, "Well, we'll just be voting from the first row." And I was like, you know, just like, Justin wanted me to keep calm. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. It's going to be over after today. What happens, happens. At this point, we didn't even we thought we were going to just say, you know, we don't want to do this anymore and just let these people, I don't know, have it and do whatever it, like, you know. And he just kept making like underhanded cuts, and you guys don't even know how hard it is for me, like with my short fuse, to stay calm. Are you proud of me even?
Yes, very.
Okay. And I was just like, I was texting Justin like, and he just kept going. They just kept making jokes. And like, there was one point where a lot of the people sat around us. We actually sat down in that area last. So there, like, people are already there, and there wasn't anyone in front of us. But like, I was sitting next to some ladies I know, and Justin was sitting next to some gentlemen he knows, and we were talking to them. But there happened to be no one sitting in front of us. And I don't know like why that matters, but their little clique had filled out the end of the table, and he goes, "Well, looks like nobody likes the old HOA board because nobody's sitting there. Like, they don't have anything in front of them because nobody wants to sit with them." Oh my gosh. But I'm glad I kept calm because karma. Yeah. Because the thing is, like, it wasn't just him, like, she was laughing at the jokes and like provoking it. And what I loved is as the meeting went on and the management company just kept digging their hole deeper and deeper, people could finally see what we have been going through for a year. And so many people came up afterwards and like, "We appreciate you guys so much and everything you've done." And it was like, yeah, it was just vindication is the what?
Is the word.
Vindicating. But yeah, it was one of those times in life where I'm glad I held my temper. I'm glad that we stood the higher ground. And I did try to be nice because I knew that it sucks to lose. Like, even if it's something like that, like no matter how old you are, it still stings. You still feel like some kind of rejection, you know? And I did genuinely want to thank her for like taking the time to do the few things she's done over the past few weeks. You know, trying to get on the HOA board. Like, I wanted to thank her genuinely for that. Thank you for the time you took. Thank you for doing this and that. And thank you for even taking the time and caring about the community enough to run. But
Nothing.
yeah, we're going to act like 2-year-olds. You just never get out of high school with some people. But yeah. All right. We're going to call it a day. Be kind. It pays off. Take the high road. It pays off. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.